Okay, so for those of you who subscribe to our channel, you're probably wondering when I was going to record another Zoom. It's been a while. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about the curse of the reorder business. Okay, um, it is it is it's a curse and it's a blessing, and here's why. Yes, we do the new faces, we build our business, we build the faces, we build that great solid customer base, and then by month 3 the reorders start coming in. And I see it, Mary Ann sees it, we see it. I mean, 22 years, I've seen it happen over and over. And then everybody starts really loving those reorder businesses, even if it's just $100 in reorders a week, 200 a week, 300 a week. And they just stop building and they just stay right there. And what happens is, Mary Kay was always famous for saying, don't just take a piece of the pie, take the whole pie. And so tonight, I want you to think, I'm going to help you think bigger, bigger than that reorder business of those 30, 40, 50 customers that you stop at and that you just get really comfortable getting that pocket change. Because, guys, when you stop at 30, 40, 50 customers and you're just living off those reorders, it's pocket change. This business is so much more than that. And I want you to, don't just take a piece of pie, take the whole pie. There are $1 million sales directors, $1 million consultants, women that have done this business for years. You guys have even heard me talk about, when I retire, I don't really have to retire. I can be in my RV, riding across country with my cell phone, keeping my customers, keeping my team, because I built it. I built it. I don't have to retire at a certain age. Even if I'm just a sales director, I can keep going and keep taking that same money because I keep building and building and building until I decide that we're going to hit the road in my RV. And that's what I want you to think of. Don't just think of the now. I want you to think of tomorrow, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And when you've got that money coming in, you will be paid over and over and over for that initial work that you do. So if I've got customers, I could go get my original lead book that has all my original lead sheets from that very first event that I went to. And I still have those same customers. And so they've been buying from me for over 22 years. And it just pays me over and over and over. And so what I want you to think about is I want you to see that really great reorders, because you guys all have some good reorders. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you held a new appointment with a new face? But you've all got sales, right? And so you've got these sales coming in. So what I want you to do is know your number. We've done so many training videos and recordings on knowing your number. And when you know your number, okay, so take your current customer base, and you can always look at that by the number of people that you put on your PCP, okay? And then you go back, 2 months. If you're kind of new and you're still in your first 3, 4, 5 months, maybe go back your last month or last 2 months and average your reorders. Take out your new faces and average what your reorders are per month. And then look at how many customers you got. Was it 5 orders? Was it 10 orders for that, say 300? And right now, that's going to be your number. So I'll give you like an example. I went back and I looked at for the year in just reorders. I did $31,000 just in reorders. That's not new faces or anything. Okay. And I went back and looked, and I was averaging 14 to 30 orders in reorders, 30 customers a month. Okay. So I did that average. That's about 21. And so I was averaging, when you take 21, okay, 21 orders a month from customers, and my retail was 31,000 in reorders, I was averaging $123 per face, okay, for reorders, not face. I'm sorry. Every time I pick up the phone, it was average $123. That is pretty high. Okay. So that goes back to my per face average of that initial appointment. I think I'm averaging 254. I know my numbers. And so when you know your numbers, so if you've got 30 people that is buying from you right now, you're just in your first year, they're buying from you, know that number and then go and look and see what would that number would double when you get to 60. You get to say one, you triple it. Okay. So you triple it, you get to 120, and then you can triple that income. And that's just on the reorders. That's from the initial work that you're paying over and over and over. And so knowing your number and fighting for those new faces, okay? Fighting for those new faces every single week, even if it's one, count it as a victory, okay? You've got to find that win. You got to know how to win something each week. And if it's a new face, that's your win. All right. But just fighting for that every single week is going to get you to 30 customers, 60 customers, 100 customers. You guys know I always say magic happens at 100 customers. So to do this kind of just, my 31,000 in reorders this last year, I I have about 150 really good customers. Okay. I keep it right there just because I am in the field a lot with my consultants. Now, if my consultant uh, production starts going down, I get back out in the field. Okay. And then so that will increase and I'll recruit. And then it goes like this. So I keep and maintain about 150 really good customers. There are sales directors who keep 350 good customers. Okay. My senior, the late Roxanne Barnett, she had 350 really good customers. But her unit was not the size of what my unit was. Like when she passed away, my unit was bigger than her unit. I was in a Cadillac. And so they say that there are like three types of people. You're a team builder, you're a customer builder, three types of directors. You're a customer builder, you're a team builder, and you're a unit builder. Okay. I'm a unit builder. I build people. Okay. Roxanne was a customer builder. She was a director with a really big customer base. And so it's okay. But the great thing, when all the stars line up is to be good at all of those things. And when you can be good at all those things and not top heavy, so I could probably go build, 350 customers, but I would not have, I got kids. There'll be a time for that. So I feel like my time is well spent in the field with my consultants. And so you get to learn how to balance that. But if you're a consultant right now, you building to 100 customers and you're working this business full circle, then you're going to start getting the team members. And then that's where your team commission checks are coming in. And that's increasing your income. And so it all is about working at full circle, taking not just a piece of pie, but the whole pie. And so when you're building to 100 customers as fast as you can. Like I mentioned before, that's going to pay you over and over and over again because this product works. You don't have to go and create a product line. Mary Kay's doing all that for you. All your job is to do is offer, tell, or ask. Okay. So I was working with private coaching a consultant last week. And I think I've mentioned this before so many times because of social media. And I didn't have this problem when I was a new consultant. We didn't have social media. And so we had to pick up the phone and we had to book. We had to ask. Okay. Social media is about like telling, right? Well, what happens when you tell somebody something? You don't always get a response. When you ask, you get a response. And so I think so many people don't get the results they want because they're just telling, hey, I'm having this. Hey, I'm doing this now. Hey, I'm doing this. Well, you're just notifying, okay? You're just telling. There's no response needed because you're telling. And so you guys have got to change your words. Remember, I've always said, if you change your words, you'll change your world. And when you get into changing that word to asking, hey, can I borrow your face? I've got a new product. I've got some new products. It's Clinical Solutions. It's a real dermocosmetics. We just got, we've got that dermocosmetic seal. It's 4 different ones, and I would love to practice on your face. Can you be on my test panel? You guys, when I am in the field working like a consultant, that's how I get booked up. Every time that new book comes out or I have the product in my hand, I get on the phone and in 20 minutes, I have 8 bookings. Boom, boom, boom. I always stop at like 7 or 8. And I think it's a mental thing because when I was a consultant and I would get like snow blindness, you guys know what snow blindness is. It's when look on your daybook, you have nothing going on. And I would be like, oh, poor me. Andy would be like, get down in that basement. He would say, get your butt down in that basement. Don't come back up here until you've got 7 parties booked. That was his number, 7. And so now I think when I stop mentally at 8, 7, because that's what he said, and 1 extra. And so I can do that in 20 minutes because I have the customer base. And so that's what I've always said. Magic happens at 100. It's not just the amazing reorders that are coming in. That's gravy, guys. That is gravy. Okay. Don't get used to the gravy. I want you to build beyond that and control that paycheck to where if one day you have to replace, say, your job, your income, your full-time income, or your husband's, you can do it because you know how to create the numbers to create that guaranteed paycheck. And that's what I've had to do for so many times that Andy has taken a pay cut. I would take the monkey, put it on my back and say, I've got this, okay? Because I am a numbers girl and I know how to crunch my numbers. It literally just took me a few minutes to go onto my reports and boom, 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 boom. And I just sat here and told you I average $123 when a customer calls me and places a reorder. And so because I know my numbers. And so that's what I want you guys to get to a point where you know your number. Okay. You know how many people it takes to, how many phone calls you have to call to ask, hey, I've got this new product. Will you be on my test panel? Hey, I've got this new product. Will you be on my test panel? So first lesson, you're making notes, is stop telling. Stop telling people. Start asking. Can I borrow your face? Can I borrow your face? Will you help me? Will you help me with the challenge? Will you help me with this? I'm working on this. Can I count on you? I mean, 10, say I've got to have 10 test panels. Can you be one of my test panels and can you get 2 or 3 friends there? Can I count on you? What woman in her right mind is going to say, nope, you can't count on me? You can't count on me at all. They're not going to say that. You got to know those right words, those hot, you got to know those really powerful statements. We used to call them power statements. Okay. Those things that's going to really make a woman say, oh my gosh, I got to help her. She's working on her, her first car. She's working on her red jacket. They don't know what red jacket is and they don't know what DIQ is, but find something that they can, your diamond ring, your 60th anniversary diamond ring. Who doesn't want to have that? It's iconic. You will walk around and say, this was the diamond ring that Mary Kay gave out, seminar year 2023 to celebrate her 60th anniversary. We all need that diamond ring. Okay. And so get a picture of it, post it everywhere, put it on all your social media and say, I'm working on this ring. I've got to have 10 parties in March. Can I count on you? I've got to have, whatever. Okay. But start asking versus telling. All right. Here's some other things that I used to do to always stay booked up. You guys, I had 19 parties the June that I earned my first pink Cadillac. I was on a mission. Like I was not going to miss Cadillac, and I had 19 parties. I know y'all have heard that story. So it's springtime. It's coming, spring, summer. We've got a big finish to work on. We're about to go into that. What is it? 120 days of power, 90 days of power, 60 days of power, 30 days. It's the countdown to seminar 2023. Crossing that finish line, going like Mach, what is it? Mach 5? Is that real? 5th gear. Let's just say 5th gear. I don't know cars. All right. So I used to do spa night by candlelight. If you've got customers who have just a really great porch, screened-in porch, poolside, spa night by candlelight, Hawaiian luau. Those are fun by the pool with spa products. They can have some pina colada, all your little frozen tropical drinks, everybody dressed in tropical attire. Those are so much fun. So when I did my 19 parties back in 2008, it was all by the pools. It was everybody I knew that had a pool. I even booked somebody at a funeral. I was at a funeral. I sat beside one of this girl from my church, and we're in the funeral. I'm like, hey, I'm earning my first Cadillac, and you have a pool, right? And she's like, yeah. I said, I need to borrow your pool, and I need you to invite some friends over. Can I count on you to help me? She's like, sure. I love to do stuff around my pool. At the funeral, I totally forgot about that right now. So that was one of my 19 that I did by the pool, because it was that whole pool spa night theme. Okay, generation makeovers. That's granddaughter, daughter, grandmother. Those are a lot of fun. You have to show 3 different skincares, but it's a lot of fun. And I sell a lot of product. Okay. Of course, test panels. That's my favorite. And then, but just always be willing to change up your hostess plan. Me, the consultant. Okay. When I was always in the field, I changed my hostess plan every June or every July and every January. Okay. Because I had to stay excited. If I wasn't excited, I didn't have anything on my date book. So I had to sell me first on getting all booked up. So if you're looking at your date book and you're just stuck, figure out a new hostess plan. Start crunching those numbers, knowing your numbers will help you create this fantastic hostess plan that you are so excited about that you're willing to pick up the phone and call the sharpest cookie in the cookie jar that intimidates you so bad. That's what a great hostess plan will do. Okay. So I would have to come up with this exciting hostess plan. And sometimes it would be aggressive. I'm just going to tell you from my January that took me to my January hostess plan that would take me to my June 30th goal was always pretty aggressive because I always had big goals. And so that aggressive hostess plan gave me, it was like, I hate to use this because it's recorded, but back in the day when you were a college student and you couldn't dance, but you wanted to go dance with your friends and you wanted to have fun, but you're just so uptight you can't dance. It's called liquid courage. That hostess plan gives you liquid courage. Okay. I really shouldn't have said this recorded, but anyway, it gives you liquid courage to go book those sharp women know sharp women, broke women know broke women. Okay. It's just the truth. And so making out that list of your chicken list, you guys know about your chicken list. We've talked about this before. Your chicken list of everybody that you know that intimidates you. That is where you're going to find your team members, your free car, and your 60th anniversary diamond ring. Because those are the women. If they intimidate you, it's probably because they dress a certain way, they take care of their image, they take care of their hair, their face, and that can be intimidating. Okay. They know how to put things together. They hold themselves a certain way. And so there are, that's an intimidating factor for some women. But guess what? We have the most amazing product. And just think what your product would look like on that woman's face. And so get that liquid courage, get that aggressive hostess plan. Knowing your numbers is going to help you justify giving away a little bit more. We used to always say, if you are always holding that almighty dollar so tight, then you cannot open it to receive the blessings. Okay. So, give a little to get a lot more. And so, but knowing those numbers and always knowing your numbers is going to help you justify that hostess plan. call me, run it by me. Let's come up with something. I try to come up with stuff for you guys, but you know what excites me may not excite you. And it's okay for you to have your very own exciting hostess plan. Well, I can help you create the flyer. We can work on it together. Schedule that time with your sales director to to bounce off ideas, to see if this is a good idea, if it's too much, if it's not too much. There's a chance that Marianne and I have already been there, done that, tried that. It worked, didn't work, whatever. We can help you tweak whatever idea you have to get that ball rolling, to get you all booked up, so that you don't fall into the curse of the reorder business. You know, that's the gravy. So you should have 3 avenues of income. You should have your reorder business, your new faces, and then the team that you built. That's full circle. That's what you see when you read up on all the Mary Kay stuff. Mary Kay always talk about full circle success, reorders, new faces, and commissions from your team. And that is the business that can support your family if something ever happens and you need to double it, triple it, like I had to do during COVID, during 2006 through 2008, 2014, all those years. When you look at all my 1099s, those were the 3 years where I hit 100,000. I had to, because my husband took pay cuts those times, and so I know, and I speak from experience, that this business can pay you a lot more than you guys are allowing it to pay you. And don't fall into the curse of the reorders. All right, Marianne, I'm gonna pin you because I know you've got some really great stuff to say.
Awesome, man, such wise words. And wisdom is learning information and applying it right away, not ignoring it and waiting until you get into the mistake and then having to learn from experience. Those are 2 different types of wisdom. There's the wisdom that you gain from experience, from learning from your mistakes, or just taking someone else's advice. And I've done both in this situation. And so hear me when I say do what Michelle says. And just know that, see this as planting these seeds now, seeing these new faces, getting these skills in, building that customer base, because there will be a time where you are going to need this to be more for you. We've all been through financial situations where we are like, man, I really wish I had an extra $2,000 right now. I wish I could just wish that up. And that's literally what our business is. That is the beauty of it. But it's really helpful when you've already planted those seeds. And so I specifically, a lot of y'all know, when I had breast cancer, that's exactly what I was able to take advantage of, because prior to that, for like 4 or 5 years, I had built customers, reorders, a team. And so when I couldn't do the work, I could just say, y'all, I need help. If you want to place an order, cool. I'm gonna be sitting here over my chair. And they were like, website orders, or like when we were earning a car, we're like, y'all, we're in our last month, whatever, but I'd done the faces. That doesn't happen when you haven't done the faces. Okay. That Hail Mary doesn't happen if you haven't planted the seeds in the ground. That is where some people make the mistake. They see this story of miracles happen if I just say what they said. You have to do the behind the scenes work too, like we did, and continue to have to do. One thing that helps me to be aware, like Michelle was talking about, each month I have a folder that I put all my sales in, and I have a list. And each time I get a sale, I write that person's name down. I write down the amount of the sale, and I write down N for new face and R for reorder. And I can visually see, it's very clear. Either I'm leaning on my new faces, I'm leaning on my reorders. I've got a healthy blend of both. And that brings in awareness, because what happens, no matter what, when we get a sale, we are so excited. That is fantastic. That is exciting. Our brain is like, dopamine, all the wonderful chemicals. And we're so excited. And they're like, I got a sale. We're like so excited for a whole week, and then 2 weeks. And then we're like, wait a minute, I didn't sell anything last week, And so you have to be aware of that, doing your weekly accomplishment sheet, managing your money, so that way you're not like riding on the excitement of it and everything. And so with those reorders, we could do that. We can get, it's like it's a drift. Okay. And so always being aware of, is it new? Is it a reorder? Is it a team building? So those three things are super strong. Stick with the script. I wrote that down, like Michelle was talking about. Whatever that script is that you want, stick with it long enough. There's going to be a point where you're excited about it and you're gung-ho, and then you're going to have some disappointments. That's the part where you've got to stick with it and keep going, because more is going to come later after that. So you've got to fight for that. Stick with the script instead of just like, that didn't work, let me just try a new one, and then your brain's super confused. You don't want that. So those were the main things I wanted to just point out and add to Michelle's awesome stuff.
Marianne, you're so awesome. All right, so guys, last thing I want to add, and then we'll let you go, and this is recorded, is we used to always say this a lot. I don't think we've said it enough lately, is the average woman knows 500 people. Really, this was before Facebook. It was like this was before Facebook or social media, when people knew people, okay? If you start writing down everybody that you know, the average woman knows 500 people. And then from those 500 people, you could literally, a group of women, a woman's connection groups can span 6 different groups. And so look at your perpetual hostesses and say, did she really bring me the people that her neighbors? Did she bring me her coworkers? Did she bring me her kids' friends? I mean, go back to those women that like to entertain, and and just tap into it a little bit deeper. There's it's kind of like people who only have level 1 conversations. If you ever know, my late father-in-law was level 1 conversation. You went any deeper than the weather and he would get nervous, and so you got to go deeper. You got to go deep into that customer, and did you meet all her 6 groups of people? And so figure out what's on her wish list, figure out what she doesn't have and offer it to her for free. Would you like this for free? Would you like this for free? Would you like this for free? Because I promise you, when you tap in and you go deep, that's where, that's the sweet spot, okay? And that's where it's going to start that snowball effect, okay? And you won't get stuck anymore, because you'll have this huge customer base that you can always tap into. All right. So
with that, Michelle, I'll add, some of that takes relationship buildings. When you study our personalities, like Michelle said, the people who like to entertain, it's a little bit more easy. Your people who are your S personalities, who love to help, they'll be cautious about some of the friends they'll introduce you to, but it might be smaller groups. And again, like Michelle said, celebrate those wins, even if they introduce you to one neighbor or one family member or one coworker. And as you continue to serve your customers well and build connections and trust with your customers, you get them their products quickly, right away. You follow up with them, ask them how their products are doing, if they need an exchange or return. That great customer service builds their trust with you. And then as you've built, nurtured that relationship, some of them happen later on, where you can then follow up with those customers and say, by the way, I have my goal of earning my first free car and I need some help. I know I haven't met any of your friends, family, customers, and I know you love this product and I think your family would love it too. Don't you think so? Could you do me a favor and get together, just one of your friends, one of your coworkers, and one of your family members, and I'm going to give you, and then her favorite product for free. And so sometimes you have to come back to that, but just know, again, it's not magical. Sometimes it takes time and those connections. So ask yourself, am I serving them well? Am I connecting with them? Am I sending them PCP? Am I, all those little things.
Yes, and study, like Marianne said, study those personalities so that you don't get your feelings hurt just because that person didn't book with you. It is not about you. That person, you don't know if she likes to take her makeup off in front of people. She may not be an entertainer. She doesn't like people in her home. She's insecure about her home. She's insecure about the cancellations, people not showing up, getting her feelings hurt. Women are emotional beings, and so don't take it personal. If you think that might be one of the problems, invite her to your house with your friends, and let her know that your job is to get her friends there. Okay. And it is your job. If you go back and watch our coaching video, we talk about that, coaching the class. You know, a class that's been booked is worth coaching. I mean, if you don't coach it, it will cancel every time. And that there's a whole process about coaching, and it's very specific to help that party hold. There's no reason to book a party if you're not willing to coach it. Okay. All right, guys. It's great to be back on Sunday night. And I hope that we have some guests on Wednesday. I didn't mail out any packets. Let me stop the recording. Hold on just a second.